Doug, back with yet another fountain pen related video. I received this pen in my collection of things that I received when I got back from traveling, and I did an unboxing of it previously, and here's what it looked like when I took it out of the box. So as you can probably tell, this is a Moonman. This is the Moonman S1. I've never had an S1 before, and this is in the color they called purple. So it comes in this little box like the M1. The M1s have this kind of a box, like that. So I see they're using the same design for this one. And there's a little instruction booklet underneath. There we are. It's called purple, but there's a lot of different colors in there. Not a lot of chatoyancy, but that's an interesting resin. This standoff clip, and again the torpedo shape. I'd be interested to compare these two pens, because the 480 looks in shape and size very similar, and design. Let's see. Almost 2 turns to get it off. The section is the same material, and there's that Moonman fine nib. It is a converter. No O-rings here. So I don't believe it's eyedropperable, but it might be something to give it a try to see whether, if you put some silicone on that, whether this would eyedropper. Having my pen BBS 308 with me for 5 weeks and using it every day and never having to change ink, it really made me love that eyedropper pen. And so if this could eyedropper as well, that'd be great. That's a lovely looking color. So I'll do a review on this one as well once I ink it up and try it out. Now I'm back, and it's a few weeks later. I've written with this pen quite a bit. In fact, I've changed it. Originally, the pen had the number 5 Moonman fine nib in it, and I wrote with that for a bit, and then swapped it out for this Delike medium that I had. The pen is much wetter and obviously thicker, but I was not liking the thin, dry line I was getting out of the Moonman nib, so I swapped it out for the Delike. So now I'm going to show you some writing samples with the pen with the Moonman nib that I wrote last week, and then we're going to look at a writing sample with the Delike. And after that, in the next, I'm expecting it today, it might come tomorrow, but I'm getting it's called an XF stub nib, so I'm not sure what that is in millimeters. We'll find out, because I've got a 0.7 millimeter stub and a 1.1 stub on my Moonman M2s, so I'll give that a comparison. In my unboxing video, I mentioned that I was going to try to eyedropper this pen, and I have. It is filled with Diamine Bilberry, and I'm liking the color combination of this purple pen with that ink. So here we go with a writing sample with the Moonman S1. So I showed before, the pen actually posts very nicely, very nice and deeply, and I don't generally post my pens, but this one feels more comfortable posted than it does alone. It's a rather thin pen for my hand, but I think with a stub in it I might write quite a bit with it. It's a very good looking pen. So this is the, I'm going to get a hard start. I haven't used it in a couple of weeks. Moonman S1 with a Delike medium nib, and the ink is Diamine Bilberry. I'm really liking this ink. It dries almost black, but it has a gold sheen to it, which when it's laid down very thick you start seeing more readily than on a fine point. In terms of wetness, very, very wet, as you can see. Nice medium line. It's very smooth. Oops. There's not a lot of line variation. Very stiff. I actually got this nib with a Delike New Moon 3 as an extra from Bobby, and I don't use that pen at all because it's much too small for my hand. So what we'll try next is a writing sample once I've swapped the nibs. In the meantime, I'm just going to twirl this pretty pen and I'm going to show you some dimensions. Let's look at the Moonman S1 in comparison to some other pens. Here it is with my Visconti Van Gogh Starry Night, my Pen BBS 308 Cedar, and my clear Pen BBS 456. I should also mention that the original Moonman nib that came out of the Moonman S1, I put it into this Moonman M2. This pen does not belong to me, it belongs to a friend, and he asked me to fix it for him. It came with originally came with an extra fine Moonman nib in it. I tried smoothing it, I tried making it wetter. It really did write like crap, and that's what he actually wrote for me. I'll show that to you. So as you can see here, he said this pen sucks, and it was very dry, very scratchy, and I tried fixing that nib, but then I realized I had this one out of the S1 and it is a direct replacement, so I put it in, and now this pen does not suck. I just finished editing the previous video and went out to my mailbox, and what did I find? A package from our friend Bobby. So let's open this up and see what's inside. Okay, here we are. Lots of packaging. I got two nibs. One is a bent nib. It's very like the pen BBS for my Moonman M6. And I'm hoping that it behaves like my pen BBS nibs, because I quite like those. But the one we're talking about today is this XF Stub. Let's see whether that fits into the Moonman S1. Let's try this nib swap. And I think all I need is a Kleenex here. Yep, just unscrews very, very easily. Now it fits a bit long. It's interesting. It changes the look. Let's see whether it closes. Yep, closes fine. Just looks a bit different. We'll give that a try. So here we go. I now have the XF Stub in the pen, and it didn't write to start, so I noticed that the tines were slightly separated, so I did a little bit of adjustment with it. And now it is writing, or it was writing. Let's find out. This is the same ink, and as you can see, it looks like a 1.1 to me. So, as a writing experience, this is the smoothest stub nib. I've only got two others, but this one is very smooth, and it's very wet. Okay, as stubs go, it's very, very wet. Look at this. Let's compare it to my Moonman M2. It actually looks just a tad smaller than a 1.1, so that's the 0.7 on the right and the XF on the left. So it really looks between the 0.7 and the 1.1. So yeah, so that looks like a range to me from the far left at the 0.7 to the XF in the center and the 1.1. And this, of course, is the original Moonman. It's a Moonman nib that I put in my friend's M2. So this is the Moonman M2 with the fine nib that was in this pen. All right, time for an evaluation of this pen. So in terms of design and build for this pen, I think the nib wasn't as great as I thought it should be, but other than that, the build and everything is very nice. Moonman quality. Let's give it a 3.5. In terms of writing and feel, the pen may be okay for people with smaller hands. I'm posting it because it is so small, but people with delicate hands might like this pen. It's a little bit thin for me, but I'm going to write with it because it has this XF stub in it, which I'm really liking. It's laying down a very wet line. So for writing and feel, I'm going to give it a 3 because just for me it's a little bit smaller of a pen than I quite like. In terms of the look, I've got to give it a 4 because that is one gorgeous pen. And the fact that it's eyedropperable as well means that you can write with it for a very long time. Overall value. I don't remember the price of this pen, but I'll put it up on the screen. It was in the $20 range, $20 to $25 US, plus shipping. I got it on Etsy. And so for that price, I think this is an outstanding value. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 4. So that leaves us with 14 out of 16. Excellent. And as always, thank you for watching. And that's all she wrote.